Welcome back to the NMrUUG, folks. We're in game number 2. Because I've just realized we had a couple people asking in chat and I missed it earlier, score will always be displayed down here next to the minimap. So if you got to AFK and go to the bathroom, come back, you can check the score will always be updated down here. We try to verbally update it as well between games so that you're never lost with what's going on. But several matches coming up today, a guest caster apparently as well. Lots of cool stuff coming up after this series concludes. But let's see who advances to the semifinals. This is the round of 8 in the NMrUUG, spawning here in the bottom right corner of the map. Once again, we have our green Terran hero, Journey.
Never left as the red Zerg. It's MVP's symbol.
And I see as well, just to address this, we have a total of 13 dropped frames this cast, guys. 1-3. I don't know what I saw Mr. Boris Makarov talking about on Medium. There could just be some Twitch issues. I don't know. The best thing we can suggest, and this is always the case for every stream you ever watch, is hit the little spanner underneath the video tab and just report video stutters. It doesn't seem like it does much, but it actually helps a lot because after enough notifications, they look into it directly. So if you guys are seeing this and it's not just one person, well, there's your solution.
All right then.
Well, unfortunately for Journey, that game did get out of hand pretty quickly towards the end.
Yeah.
It was a situation where, like, I was surprised, for having 9 queens on the map. Creep never got past the halfway point. He didn't control the watchtowers, and Journey's third went uncontested for so long. Symbol, with a very small army supply, I guess abuses the fact that you get 2 Zerglings at a time for the supply cost. Because, I mean, he still had a lot of units to dance with. He was responding to drops properly. There's banelings everywhere they needed to be. Symbol just played that out really well. I can't really fault Journey. It's not like he played poorly. Symbol just played that really excessively good.
Yeah, I mean, oddly surprisingly good. It's not that, you know, we aren't saying that Symbol is bad and we didn't expect this from him, but Journey's just been, like, really good TvZ, and I think they've actually, like, faced before. I might be mistaken, but I feel like, you know, I just had, like...
You probably wouldn't be mistaken just because, like, the limited player pool is only, like, what, 30 players?
Exactly. I mean... Like, there's not a whole lot of other players that play, but, I don't know, I just felt like in my gut that Journey would have this, but Symbol just looked really dominant, and you know, you look at that game as Journey, and okay, so what happened? Okay, maybe I left my third CC, maybe I, like, you know, I'm a little more, you know, paranoid of counterattacks, but mostly, I would feel like I just didn't apply enough pressure, you know? Like, you know, oh my god, Zerg OP totally outmaxes me. Like, oh my god, so easy race. So, like, I got something about 2-base push. I'm, like, totally legit. Like, after a game like that, we're just like, what the heck? You're just like, okay, you know, F that, let me try something a little bit different, more aggressive.
Well, the other thing, too, we didn't really address this, and I really don't think it was the detriment of that game, but the opening out of Journey last... First off, he did scout the... Got a really nice scout there with the SCV to check that there was the hatchery coming down early as it did, but you know, he went for those extra Raxes instead of the starport. Now, the starport doesn't mean like you have to go for a Banshee or you have to go for a drop, but it's just like your tech order of things, getting your, I guess, like eggs in order, so to speak. Because, of course, his medevacs were related to the occurrence of this, and even though there were no mutilates for a long time, he never really got to do any drops with them. I kind of feel like this time, especially with this being King Sejong, you got this really close natural base, Banshees wouldn't be a bad choice. But no second gas, so...
Yeah, he's going to be going for the drop. You know, he's getting more Marines, just the 2 that you would get to deny overload coverage. And this is really good. So besides, like, the whole, like, thing I was just saying, where maybe you're feeling like, oh my god, you just, you know, like, overrun me in, like, a macro game, it's also that just by doing the same opener, the 1 Reaper and the 2 Marines the last game, you know that the Zerg doesn't know. Right? So, like, they deny overload coverage, so Symbol's always guessing. And the best bet is that he just assumes that it's a third CC Symbol, again.
He doesn't have his natural rally. There's like 6 drones AFK right now.
That is a pretty big deal.
Hopefully he fixes this soon. That is actually pretty big. There we go. Small naughty shout to Gosu Pizza, by the way. Good friend of the channel. Just resubbed to the channel as well. Fantastic. Glad to have you back, Lycan.
So far, Symbol has not bothered sending an Overlord in. Even if he did, there's a good chance the Marines would kill it, and I mean, the worst thing you do is just assume that it's a third CC. But I mean, he got so many queens last time, and he's getting so many queens this time, that, like, queens, you know, they're really effective at dealing with, like, the frontal pushes, the frontal harass, but, in terms of like defending the Marine drop plus the Hellions, splitting up 5 queens, like that's not much of a split. So I'm a little, you know, still worried for Symbol here.
Well, Overlord goes down to Journey. Kind of sucks. Not the biggest deal in the world. Medevac actually actively dodged the Overlord though, so that was kind of cool, trying to hide that this was coming to play. I guess the biggest thing you can try and do is draw the attention away, but I mean, look at Symbol. He's already prepared. He knew a drop was coming at some point, and the Lings are lying in wait. Yeah.
Good Overlord coverage, but also means that, again, this Medevac doesn't have to do direct damage to the drone line. It can kill these Overlords that are, you know, around the map. He actually brought a Viking as well, so he's going to get, like, a, you know, a couple of Overlord kills. 4, I think, in total, if he finds a good one.
Yeah, there's, like, 3 right outside his base. Overlords killed so far, already up to 3. I mean, 4 is a very easy number to hit.
Yeah. Well, the Lings are out of position right now. They went to the main, just assuming that Journey was going to go in there, and psych! Might get a queen for the seats. Oh,
but here
so
come the
many
Hellions,
queens.
though. Doors open. Runs to the main with like 7 Hellions. Oh, wait. A decision as he turns around for a moment. A couple of the workhorse picked off along the way, but the drones are pulled. In a pretty good spot here in the middle line. These Zerglings will struggle to deal with this. It's the queens that are going to have to really clean this up. In the meantime, what happened in that drop shit? Did the Medevac actually die?
It died. Yeah, it died. It's really hard not to die to like 5 queens.
Very true, but these Lings, oh, that blast is quite painful. I mean, these Hellions aren't getting out of here alive. Die for the drones might have been a better choice when he still had health on the Hellions, but the queens have been whittling away for so long. He actually gets the Reaper out. I'm out of here. Fuck this.
It is too bad though that he lost the Medevac. It killed you know, 1 or 2 Overlords. The Vikings doing the rest of the work, but that is, you know, that's potential creep tumors killed, a little more queen harassed. It's just, if the queens are in position, the Medevac is not going to survive, and the Medevac's, you know, the key to this whole thing.
Yeah, it's so often, I mean, this has been the thing since Wings of Liberty. It's never the actual drop itself that's so dangerous, but if you chase off that Medevac, even if there's only 3 Marines inside of it, that's a big threat that you can't ignore. But if the Medevac's dead, that's a huge weight off your chest. Which actually, Journey's one of the players who very specifically we've seen keep 3-4 Marines alive in a Medevac for like the entirety of the game and still use them over and over and over again. So, I mean, it's a big deal. It's not something we can underplay.
We've seen him like keep, you know, 1 Marine and Medevac alive.
Yeah.
So
dedication. Yeah,
seriously, every man gets his worth or something before he dies.
Okay, so he follows this up with more Hellions. With the armory on the way, I can only imagine this time around, it's gonna be for Hellbats. The problem is though, he can't afford to lose these. Cleaning up creep is good, but not sacrificing any of these.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Sybil really is being, you know, pretty greedy again. He's relying heavily on these queens to defend, and so far they're doing a really, really great job. One Overlord will die, so I guess they aren't doing that good of a job for the Overlords, but, I mean, his Baneling Nest was made after the lair was complete for a while, which is, like, pretty greedy. He doesn't have a whole lot of Lings in the field, only 11, so the Hellions could have run in there, but...
It's so cool watching them transform.
Oh, he goes for, wow, a follow-up with Hellbat drops. You just...
This is interesting. Not only is the Hellbat drops, but there's 2 spires coming up behind this. I kind of want to be like backsies, upsies like we normally talk about, but it's just like...
Maybe on purpose.
But like, why would you double upgrade? The armor's not going to be that big of a deal.
I know. It's like, this is one of the things that we saw a long time ago when Wings of Liberty was double upgraded mutas, but...
Those are way better now. Wouldn't mind have bigger splash.
Exactly.
And let's be honest, neither of those units really give a fuck if you've got armor upgrades or not. Pardon my French here, because I mean, the Widowmine's, it's magic damage or spell damage or whatever you want to call it. It's not affected by armor. And the Thor, it just clumps in it. You've clumped up. It's going to take a lot of hits no matter what. Level 1 upgrades or not. But yeah, lots of Hellbats dancing around. I guess the one ironic thing is the Hellbats can't shoot up, so mutas will be good. They'll have their role in the game, that's for sure. It's just that second spire we're questioning.
Yeah. No Baneling speed, but on creep, as long as the Marines can get out, you know, exploding on the Hellbats is actually not what you want to do.
No, definitely not. A couple of Widowmines even live through this, no less.
Yeah. Oh, misses the active pre-timers.
Still clears. So this push out of Journey, I mean, that got a lot more damage in that fight than I thought it would have, but as you see, I mean, the 4th base is on the way, chipping away at the rocks here. Symbol's not exactly in grave danger. Just took a bad fight in the middle of the map.
Yeah, he's not. He's not. You know, the problem is, of course, Journey does not want to really push that far on a creep. You have to be pretty darn sure that you're going to win if you do that. And
this is a really unfortunate time. The rocks do just barely break down. Hellbat should be able to deal with this. It just goes for the focus, picks up, and it's a ceiling into that Hellbat. Rest in peace, man.
Yeah, worth. But Symbol, again, with like, the upgrades are always like that much farther ahead. I mean, we usually see like a couple seconds, you know, 10 or 20, but a full like what, like minutes? Yeah, yeah, a full minutes and a little bit more. Quite surprising, and of course Journey won't be as strong as we're used to seeing until he has those 2-2 upgrades, but he's certainly capable of just staying outside of the creep and cleaning it up, or maybe not.
Big swarm of lings on top of this. Widowmine's not quite getting those money hits. A decent hit towards the end, but unfortunately there's not enough Marines left to fight this. The Mutos will give chase, but if he unloads, yeah, he should be able to scare him away.
Yeah. Alright. Journey also going, you know, he's not really relying entirely on just, you know, staying on 3 command centers. He does get a relatively early 4th. I mean, he did last game too, and that's kind of where actually things started to fall apart, was when he tried to get a 4th and then just got counterattacked to death. But this is, I mean, it's a bit easier of a map, as long as those back rocks aren't broken and he takes the middle one to, you know, not let those run-bys happen.
It is double upgrades, by the way, through the Spire. So not going for Hive Tech, I guess this is where you put your gas?
I don't know if it was on purpose. He might have just seen that he did that and, like, got it. Because, like, the +1 Carapace didn't come down as the Spire finished. It came down a lot later. Yeah.
Well, Thors are out. Gonna drive that back. As we see, one volley just is about half the health of the Mutalisk anyways. Armor upgrades be damned, but Journey's got a 4th CC built. He's gonna make that a planetary by the looks of it as he establishes it here in the middle of the map. I guess one of the key things was, like, while the Marines do only have, like, level 1 upgrades, I mean, soon to be level 2. There we go, just as I'm talking here. The Carapace will help the Mutalisks, I guess, take better fights versus them, but it's really the Thor that all my focus is on, because this thing, it hits 4 times. It's just so hard to deal with. Mutalisks gotta be scared.
Yeah. Journey would like to put a Sensor Tower, I think, down near the 3rd, you know, covering the left side of the map. That's the only counter-attack path that Symbol has, at least with, you know, ground units, and if that's what killed you last game, then it's certainly worthwhile investment to put it down.
I kind of wish Journey would heal these medevacs, or repair them rather. So many of them are so low, and I'm actually digging the high medevac count, but I just feel like a couple of Mutoblasts, a couple of Glaveworm bounces, and about 3 of them are gonna die instantly.
Yeah. Not much going on right now. Journey is max. He should be thinking about pushing out soon, but it has given time for Symbol to really push out his creep pretty darn far.
Well, the composition out of both players, not bad. This infestation pick
died. Oh wait. Oh yeah, the Reaper finally died.
Oh, I didn't realize it was even still alive at this point. Muta's coming back to look to take the fight from behind on this, but the Thors are well positioned and
look at the spread.
I know this army is spread so thin you'd imagine Zerglings would just pounce, but there's actually not that many. So as the fight engages, Blue Flame Hellbats in the back, we'll be able to deal with the Zerglings, but keeps the Thor alive for the Mutas. Nice pickup there.
Journey, like, he's losing these fights so single-handedly. I do agree. I think that was a little bit too much of a split. You know, each group of Marines got surrounded and killed pretty quickly, and you know, not much room to go ahead and like kite back Banelings.
40 more Banelings on the way. 50 Zerglings popping while this is going on top of the already high count of Banelings to begin with.
I feel like Journey's really going to regret not getting any Widow Mines.
Yeah, I mean the Hellbats aren't bad, but he's never this whole game. They're in the wrong spot. They're usually behind the Marines, behind the Thors. They're not the ones killing the Zerglings. They're dying to the Banelings.
Yeah, I don't know. We're seeing just so many times where Zerg just overrun when they're allowed to get up to 40+ Banelings at a time made, so...
Well, the collision ensues, and there's just too many Banelings is the only way I can describe this fight. Zerglings are numerous, and that's all well and good. The Mutas are getting picked off, but can he deal with this? The Planetary Fortress getting brought into the fight is a huge deal. He's got to repair this, though.
If he doesn't lose all of his Banelings on the Planetary, then yeah, the Planetary will in fact hold. Keeps a lot of the Medevacs alive, too. That is one thing about going for the super heavy Baneling style, is that if you do not kill them and do damage to their economy, you did just throw away a lot of, you know, of money and gas. And Symbol definitely doesn't have enough of a bank to redo that, like, that same attack again. You know, not 40 Banelings, but just 13 on the way.
Yeah, I think he was like 60-something for the start of that fight, down to 7 now. And while there's not a lot of Thors out at the moment, I love the Marauder count that's been brought into this. He's just going to constantly leave them here on the front lines and drag everything else back behind them. But Hive is on the way, and we're going to start seeing things like Vipers and Ultralisks, but more importantly, 3-3 Adrenal Glands, all these wonderful mixes to add in here.
Mutas with their upgrades. not really making a difference, but looking cool, I guess. I just like wonder, like the double upgrades. Yeah, like again, like really gonna help you in a head-on engagement. I feel like you should just do the counterattacks because they worked pretty well last game.
I guess that is the thing we didn't really talk about. Like the armor upgrades would benefit versus the missile turrets a little bit, I guess. But yeah, that's not the mutas. They can't really at this point. He needs every bit of his army to fight. And if even the mutalisks are out of position, the Banelings suddenly don't have that cover they need. The Marines can kite a little bit more easily. But splits really well here on the back end of this. Symbol's not going to over-dedicate to this, not just yet. More Banelings are on the way, but this is going to be a really hard hold. I'd say actually borderline impossible.
Yeah, maybe. Again, the mutas are 2-2. You'd think they'd be doing, like, adding so much more than he usually would with only one upgrade, but they're really not.
Journey's clumped a little bit more this time. 6 splits not to be had, but the Banelings aren't that numerous either. I kind of feel like the reinforcement rally is going to be more than enough. Keeps picking up the Thor to drop it again. Keeps it alive versus these mutalisks. And looks like a couple more pop out. This is not looking good for Symbol. Army supply just in the gutters. No time to morph in Banelings. Ultralisk Cavern only just starting. Oh, this is looking worse and worse for this 4th base. He did take a base to the top right while all this was going on, but of course this is where the action is. And this is where he needs to hold. GG is going to be called, and Journey will even up the series now 1-1.